If you're still waiting for an apology from an emotional abuser before you can finally move on, you are unintentionally giving them the keys to your freedom. In this video, I'm giving you a 3-step self-closure framework so you can get closure without them ever having to say a word to you. If you feel stuck in a loop where you're thinking, why did they do this to me? Or how could they be so cruel? This video is for you. I used to be in an emotionally abusive relationship with my ex-husband, and I tried to get closure with him by talking to him about the things that he did to me and the abuse and everything, and it backfired on me. It actually made things worse because he would take the information that I shared with him and use it against me to either gaslight me or belittle me. I came to realize that closure was never going to come from getting an apology from him, but it was going to come from fully accepting that he was never going to realize how he abused me and he was never going to change. With this first step, you're going to reclaim the reality of your own life, regardless of their opinion of you. Abuse works by making your abuser the judge and the jury of your existence. And by waiting around for an apology from them, you're basically giving them the power to continue to judge you and to continue to abuse you. And closure starts to happen when you realize that you don't have to correct their narrative in order for yours to be true. We're going to do this by conducting the evidence audit. You're going to do this by coming up with 3 things that they used to say or think about you that were not true. And you're going to counter those three things with 3 cold, hard facts about your life that disprove their narrative. I'm going to give you a few examples of things that my ex-husband used to say about me. So he always thought that he worked harder than I did and that I didn't work as hard as he did. He also would say often that I was emotionally unstable. And then he also said I'm unattractive and undesirable. So the first one, you don't work as hard as I do. Throughout my entire marriage with him, I worked full-time job the entire time. He was in and out of work. He got laid off from several jobs, got fired from a job here and there too. So complete evidence that that wasn't true. You are emotionally unstable. I raised 2 children completely on my own while working a full-time job. Patently not true. And you are unattractive and undesirable was another one that he would say to me. And clearly, I've been told by many friends and that I am an attractive person. And also a lot of people want to be with me. They want to spend time with me. So clearly I'm a desirable person. If you've suffered abuse like I did for long periods of time, this isn't going to be a one and done sort of thing. This is a start to this healing and this closure. You are going to need to work on these particular issues probably over and over and over again because the conditioning that you've been under has been going on for a long time. It's going to take a long time of kind of reinforcing these truths to rewrite your narrative and rewire your brain to believe in the true narrative. And I say all of this because it takes a lot of patience. You're going to need to have patience with yourself to start to accept who you are, love yourself, really truly stop believing the narratives that your abuser tried to impose on you. And once you go through this process of rewriting your story and claiming your own truth, you are going to have a lot of emotions that come up. You're going to be sad, you're going to be angry, and you can use those emotions to fuel this next step that I'm going to teach you. And step 2 is writing the unsent letter. This step is going to help you kind of get that poison out of your system, get all of that anger and frustration and sadness out, and honor your own feelings at the same time. And simultaneously not give them any more ammunition to use against you. The key is you're going to get all of this out on paper in a very raw, honest format, and you're not going to send this letter. You're not going to ever share it with them. Once you're done creating this letter, I'm going to give you more instructions on how to do it. You can either destroy it, or you can keep it for yourself, or you could read it to a friend or share it with a friend or someone that you care about that cares about you, or potentially you could also share it with a therapist. It's important that when you sit down to write this letter, that you write it as raw and honestly as possible. You don't have to worry about the abuser's reaction to it because you're never going to share it. And getting to that raw, honest place is very, very important because that's how you're going to get to the deepest truth. If you're trying to be polite and you're trying to be, negotiate in a nice way and nice in this letter, you're not going to get to the deep truth of how you feel about this situation. So here's what you're going to write. You're going to start with the facts. What happened? What did they do to you? How did they abuse you? You're going to talk about the emotions that you felt related to those things. How did it make you feel then? And how does it make you feel now? And third, you're going to talk about connections. So how was the abuse from the past affecting you now? How is it affecting you in your current relationships, in your current interactions with people? And how did their abuse affect the relationships that you had in the past? And how might it affect how might the abuse affect your relationships in the future? If you're finding any of this information helpful, or if it's resonating with you, it would be so helpful if you click that thumbs up button. That really helps to ensure that more people will get to see this video. Thank you. I wanted to take a minute and let you know that I have created a mental health resource guide that contains information about all the things that I have done to heal from my past trauma. And I want to share those things with you. So there's a link in the description down below. If you click it, I'll send that guide to you for free. This next step is really going to help you see all of the time you've been wasting waiting around for that apology. This step is the inner peace check-in. So what you're going to do is just pick a day. You can pick any day to do this. And you're going to set a timer every 3 hours. And when that timer goes off, you're going to look back at the previous 3 hours. When you look over those previous 3 hours, I want you to write down how much time you spent in each of these areas. The past, we're going to call that the ghost. That's the time that you're thinking about rehearsing arguments with your ex-abuser, checking the abuser's social media, or wondering, why all of the abuse happened to you. Then you want to calculate the amount of time you spend in the present. And that's, doing things in the present moment, right now, working, eating, resting, engaging with people who care about you, kind of living in the here and now. And then you also want to calculate approximately how much time you spent thinking about the future, your goals, planning your next move, learning a new skill, dreaming of a life without this ex-abuser. At the end of the day, then you want to sit down and tally the number of hours that you gave to the ghost. This is the amount of time that you are spending living in the past, being tethered to your abuser, and this is the time that you could have for yourself for increased freedom. Reclaiming this time is the thing that's going to give you so much energy and ability to look forward in your life and really start planning your future, living your own life in the here and now and being present, and stop basically getting caught up in your head about your abuser. And with this exercise, one day might not be enough. You might want to try to do it if you notice that you're doing a lot of ruminating and thinking about the past. That might be a good day to just kind of take note and write down the amount of time you're spending. Because there's definitely going to be a natural ebb and flow to this kind of energy, but I bet you'll notice that, you're probably spending a lot more time in this mindset than you think you are. So I shared with you, things that I have done to help me get that closure from my ex-abusers. And I also, a while back, did a video about radical acceptance. And that is a process that also really helped me to accept that my abuser was never going to change. And I'm going to link that video here so you can go check that out next. Thanks.